I'm pleased to welcome you to this village of Laikmansau, which is located in Malayam Community and Rural Development Block in East Khasi Hills district of the state of Meghalaya. I'm proud to introduce you to this village for the reason that this village has become a model for the rest of the country and the rest of the state for various reasons. And one of the reasons is that although the village is a small village, having only around 45 numbers of families, they have been able to make themselves a village that has attained a very high standards of cleanliness and sanitation in individual level and also at the community level.
Kakerteng chonga kada Emlin Darling do Oplang, ada assistant teacher chongka Laikmansau SSA LP School.
Kakerteng jonga ngakerteng iban lilin nong klau, ngashong ngasa Laikmansau, bat ngatray kum I asha worker.
So kakerteng chonga kalong uklu da sig nakar. Ngade usketri chongka village watas station hone posnong Laikmansau.
Hello everyone. My name is Richborn Marwen, and I'm a proud member of this village, Laikmansau village.
It's very interesting to note that the people in this village in particular has already have that kind of inborn thought of how to keep the villages clean. It's there in the culture, it's there in the habit, it's a tradition for them to maintain the cleanliness in the own houses in the compounds as well as in the surrounding. So this has been a very contributing factor to what the village has been able to attain to this standard of cleanliness as it is now.
Hang ni school ngi hikai kena kumno begin ban pendon kami ki toilet ban kumno begin thet kti ban kilatip kumno ban lek khun kum churu hang ni hasnong changi ki breu kilatip kumno ban pendon kami ki pankhana kumno ban lek khun hasnong hathau
Ti ka jingwan jong ka Swachh Bharat Mission kala long ka jingmento yangi kum kinong shnong bat kala ai ka jing hikai yangi kumno banginang ban lek khun bat ningkong ka bang kongsan kalong bang nginang ban ba ngilet shaban ngilet pankhana hapo ki pankhana om ngilet shabar shaki klau ki shaki jakai ki bomdei ban banginlet bat kumjo ru ka ai ke hikai ningkong shwayanga kumno banganang ban hikai elagi jong ki khon ki kti begin long ki bale khoi bengin yo ya ka jingkot jingkhia ka ba bit ka ba biang kat bakal ni ka Swachh Bharat kampat wan ha ka jinglong jingman jong ka imlang salang ha ka shnong ka thau komut kadan shibun ki jing tuna mo komut hal kaliang ka jing khoi ka jing suba bat ngidan ki ha kapor ba menshwa bingidang let shabar mo pathar mo komut ki bun ki jing pang kum ka pre kum ka penhiar kum ka typhoid kum ta ter mo reiling ba jong ka jing wan jong ka Swachh Bharat ka la ai ka jing mento yangi ba ka hikai yangi kum no pengin lek khot ya ki khamta mi yangi ki long kemi mo bat kum ju iki khon bangin hikai iki khon bangin lait na kita ki jing pang ki babun jan
Kani gari ka cakka ka bangi chu penlang ha kapor paslam ta kapor paslam kum tu ngi sina de ki sing ir hatang khat kan ki jing Banang tu isna itu ikolong nang te banang te iwan situ upai kod upai nang te perbasap kumtu ni kira kawan ka kumtu karung pa kasung ha kan ikatop ka bangi ngila joy perkre berkesalang ka hang ni sayo berpedon kami kan ka baro.
So we started this campaign in 2012, and after that we through very dedicated effort of the team of our volunteers. And in fact, we even have volunteers within the community. In a very short time after our intervention, the village came together. They decided, they passed a resolution that they'll have to redo the kind of toilets that they were having at that time by converting the toilets into a safe toilets.
I am Don Kuparwar, Chief Engineer, PHE Environment and Sanitation, also functioning as Mission Director, Swachh Bharat Gramin, Meghalaya. Swachh Bharat Mission objective is for behavioral change and to ensure sustainability of the efforts put in under the program. The state of Meghalaya has attained open defecation-free in the year 2018 under Swachh Bharat Gramin Phase 1. As on date, we are moving towards Swachh Bharat Mission Phase 2. Under Phase 2 of Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, the new objective is to transform all ODF villages into ODF plus villages by ensuring that these villages sustain their ODF status, including all individual households, schools, Anganwadi centers, village darbars, community centers, marketplaces also should have access to functional toilet facilities. And they should have arrangement to manage solid waste as well as liquid waste. Also, the village should be visually clean. That is, the village is observed to have minimal litter, minimal stagnant water, and no plastic waste dump. Then the village should have the display of ODF plus IEC messages on usage of toilets, solid and liquid waste management, plastic waste management at prominent places. And finally, the goal is to have all 6,128 ODF villages in the state to achieve the ODF plus status at the earliest.
We have a program at that time which is called a Total Sanitation Campaign. During that program, we are going villages to villages just to promote the kind of well-being of the people by adopting proper methods and proper habits of sanitation, and mainly the use of toilets. So our observation at that time, prior to 2012, we could see that this village had appeared as a village that had stopped open defecation. Why? Because in each and every houses there are toilets. But when going inside the village, going inside the houses and seeing the kind of toilets that they were having at that time, we could understand that there was a wrong notion that people were having about toilets. Toilets has to be safe, toilets has to be sanitary, and toilets has to be a facility that should not contaminate the water bodies, that should contaminate the environment. But we could see that the toilets they were having at that time were in fact unsafe toilets. They were just an enclosure, it was just a room, but the waste that were there were just dumped into an open pit. So it's just a single pit, it's just an open pit toilet. So that triggered our mind as a team that works for promotion of sanitation. We thought that this is an area where we have to intervene. So our intervention is to promote the use of safe toilets. Of course, they were having housing for the toilets, very good proper toilets at that time. Some houses are even constructing very costly toilets at the time. That they were not constructed near the houses, but they were constructed a bit far from the house. Why? Because people were saying that the toilet should not be near the house. So this is a second observation that we thought we should make an intervention by people having a very wrong notion of the toilet. So we started our exercise in this village. We started what we call at that time a community-led total sanitation approach, where in the entire community were being involved, the entire community were being the center of the discussion. And during that triggering exercise, we tried to expose to the people the danger of having an unsafe toilet, the danger of going to the forest for defecation, the danger of security of the people, the concern of decency and dignity of the people. So we started to raise these kinds of issues and make people realize and thinking that what they had been doing earlier was not really a very proper way of doing the things at that time.
To ka jing yo jongi ya ki pan khana kalalong ka jing mentoy kamtam yangi ki kenthei mo ba kalalong ka burom na ka bentar jongi na mangila ayo da ka dai kum kai ikum iyeng mo iban da mo yangi bangin light da uslap da kal air ban jaka bangin let sha cloud sha lum sha wa han ring la yo mo hai sem mo kuma iyeng ka mangila mulang kala long ka buram pat ka jing suk yangi kan bangin yo ban le ha tu ka hai tu I jaka I bangila sna kerpang na ka benta jongi kamtam ban ngi long ka I long don buram mo yangi ken thai ha po snong po tha mo yangi kamtam yangi ken thai bangi yo ban ngimlong kumun shwa bingile shabar pathar kum to nrei menta ngila yo ba hagi hai jaka I blasna kerpang kum iyeng ban ngilayo ban lej hang tu kalalong ka jing kerku bat ka jing mentoy ka bakraw yangi.
Earlier we do have toilets, but that was not safe enough. But then when this mission came and the team, they taught us how to build proper toilets and proper sanitation.
Te na kalang jongi kum ka sinong barok ka wei ngi ai khublei kerpang na ka bentai kini ki news na po pune ki blawan ban poisok poisai han ka sinong ka jongi. Te na kalang jongi kum ka sinong barok ka wei ngi penpau ke sungu ya kaswat Bharat mission kabala ai sibun ke jing arab nam ta senong ka thau ke jongi kabangi yo ban snai ki pan khana kabangi yo ban snai ki sukpit ya ki kompostang kabalon ra ka jing mon toy ka bakrau ya ka senong ka thau ya ka khoi ka soba ya ka senong ka thau ro ka wei bat kham tam kawan ra ya ka jing ko jing khia ha ka senong ka thau hi ba ro ka wei takom ta ka jing ra cho ka swat Bharat mission ya ka ni ka ya kini ki scheme hakasinong ka jongi kalalong ka jingker khu ka background kam ta kinong snong baro ka wei te ka khubor ka bangi kum kinong snong idon ban ai ka long ba ngi kerpat ya paro ki parasnong para tha ki bodon hapo ka chela ka jongi ba kin sim yang ni kalat cho ka jingarap ka bak sarkar ka ai khnang ba kanon ra ka jing khui ka jing soba ba ka jing ko jing khia ya ka snong ka tha ba ya ka chela hi baro ka wei to sisit miang I penpau ke jing sngok men ka bakrau ka bangi yo bnya don kum ni han ka snong jongi palai man saw te na kaliang jonga kum sekretari jongka ni ka komiti I judon ka jing ya treilang na ka banta banon ra ya ka khui ka soba ha ka snong ka thau baro ka wei da ka jing ya simtilang ka jing ya treilang trong ki pai ba nong snong baro ngidon ka jing ya suthu jing mot lang na ka ni ka VWSC committee rengkat bat ki nong snong baro banginon ra ya ka snong ka bakhoi ka bosuba hang ne snong jongi baro ka wei ba ka jing sim banta ya ka ni ka long hi nado ki barit hado ki bahai ki basan ni baro si snong ngidon kata ka jing ya long sitali ka jing long ka wei na ka banta banon ra yang ni ka jing khoi ka jing soba ha ka snong ka thau jongi baro ka wei
ngô comment mang ayo kini ki pan khana ka long ki jing yarap ya ka yeng ka sem ka jonga te ngil alat ka lecha pathar ki cloud ki tap ken te dak kajing don jong kini nglalat dak slap dak air te kalong kajing mentoy ken yangi kajing kesem te tangkom tahi
Under the provisions of the guidelines of Swachh Bharat Mission, there is a financial incentive that can be awarded to villages for construction of toilets. And this village, like Mansao village, also had availed the incentives under Swachh Bharat Mission. Earlier to that, it was Nirmal Bharat Abhiyan, where individual families have been given an incentive of 6,000 rupees for construction of a proper and a safe toilet. But out of 6,000, the contribution from the government is 5,100, and the family has to contribute an additional amount of 900 rupees. But we have seen with that amount of incentive amounting to 6,000 rupees, the toilets that were being built by the families are far, far more better than what it's expected to be. They have even spent from their own pocket additional amount of about 6,000 to 7,000 from their own pocket to construct a proper toilet, a decent toilet. As you can see in this is a toilet. This is a model toilet that has been constructed under financial incentive under Swachh Bharat Mission. The purpose of asking the families to contribute an amount of 900 rupees against a government incentive of 5,100 rupees is one way to ensure that people have a sense of ownership. And having a sense of ownership, it will also ensure that people will maintain the toilets, and maintaining the toilets will ensure the sustainability of the works. It will ensure the sustainability of the program, and it will ensure that the living conditions of the people as far as health, hygiene and sanitation is concerned is taken to a higher level from day to day and time to time.
Kan nuksa mo ba ngin ai ka jing hikai shakiwei mo ba hamtam ba ngitip kum ka shnong jongi ka don ka jaka jong okai ba ngin pin I shakiwei ba kin nampret pathar ya ki plastic lani ya kinu ki baki ki nongwan jong okai ki wanra ba bakin habangi labu iki jaka ban bread iki nyut ki ban bread hakitu ki jaka ki bangi labu ba kin habiki let shabar kin let hakitu ki jaka ki bangi ngelashna nakabanta jongki bakin let shabar nakabanta jongki.
The community took it very sincerely for this mission, and with the help of subsidies and our contribution, all 50 households are having toilets.
Contribution from the government involves creation of assets and infrastructures in this village. But the point of concern as a continuity of the effort is how to sustain and maintain the sustainability of the works. And for that purpose, we try to ensure that capacity building of the people is ensured in this village. So for that purpose, all along the entire process, we ensure that the people of the village have given a proper understanding of the concept of sanitation, and for that purpose we are trying to ensure that at each and every moment we are engaging with the people. We are trying to get people participation, people community involvement, and for that purpose all the time we are always interacting and communicating with important leaders of the village, important persons in the village, and we have persons whom we used to call them natural leaders. So these natural leaders are persons like the village headman, the village water sanitation secretary, the Asha worker, the Anganwadi worker, the school teachers. So these are the main person to carry forward the efforts of the government, to sustain the effort of the government, and these are the person to ensure that sustainability is there in the village for years to come.
Namar kabang kasinong kanang ban lek hud kibrew hang national gila nang ban lek hud kolong gaburom yak sinong hibarok kowe.
Cleanliness is now the way of life as a villagers, and it has become also an identity of the village.
That means this is your toilet, so keep it clean. That means this is a peaceful room in Kasi.
The message we wanted to put across as a story in sanitation movement in the entire country, and particularly in the villages of the state and the country as a whole, is that this movement of sanitation should continue for years to come.
We follow proper sanitation and we are proud about it.
Swachhata